These are devotions for people at a social distance. As I said yesterday, I've been out of doing this for 4 weeks, and it's kind of amazing to look back over 4 weeks and see how things have changed. And one thing that has definitely changed, that has increased over the last 4 weeks, is a real sense of polarization. How divided we seem to be as a society. Remember when we started this whole pandemic thing, and the overwhelming sentiment was, we're all in this together. We're going to pull through it. We're going to do this together. And now here we are, whatever, 15 months later, uh, at each other's throat, it seems. And one of the big divisions, of course, is between vaccinated and unvaccinated people, and that sharp difference is becoming even greater as things like vaccine mandates and pass codes are coming into force. And I think some of this division, some of this polarization has absolutely been ginned up by media and other places, looking to get attention, to get clicks. But there is some real animosity there. And I just wanted to talk about that today. I think that Jesus understands that sense of animosity. And he said, he lived in a society that there was extreme polarization. I mean, he lived in unoccupied territory, and there was growing discontent with that. And there was growing division between those who sided with the Roman occupation and those who wanted to oppose it. And that division that created enormous polarization and animosity. And how did Jesus deal with that kind of divided society? I think we could use that kind of wisdom today. And I can't help but turn today to a verse like Matthew 5:43 to 44. You've heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you. And of course, there are many other sayings of Jesus and of his followers that really fall into line with that. That learning to hate others who are our enemies, who are hurting us, is not what we need to do, and we need to find ways to love. I understand, as a vaccinated person, as a person who has vaccinated people and all vaccinated people in my family, I understand some of the feelings that people have towards unvaccinated people. Yes, it's true. It's very unlikely that I, as a vaccinated person, am going to pick up the virus from an unvaccinated person. And if I do, chances are enormously that it will not affect me in some horrible way that some people are suffering. But that doesn't mean that I am not damaged or not affected, or my family is not affected by unvaccinated people. If they are clogging up the hospitals and intensive care uh, uh, departments, that means that other people, people I love and care for, may not get the medical care or treatment they need to. And any one of us could suffer an accident at any time. And if I cannot gain access to the intensive care ward, that absolutely affects my life. Obviously, of course, it also puts in danger those who at this point cannot be vaccinated, and we think especially of those under the age of 12. And yes, that does frustrate me, because there are so many who could just do what is right for the good of society and go out and get a shot and are not. And yes, I feel that. But does that mean I should hate them? That I should be yelling at them? Should be shaming them? No, because shaming isn't actually going to change behavior. Anyways, it generally does the opposite, and hatred does not help anything. Now, when Jesus said that, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, did he understand how hard that was? Absolutely. He understood absolutely how very hard that was. He said it not because it was easy, but because it was hard. And it is hard for all of us to love those whose motivations we may not understand or appreciate, those whose choices do affect us in very bad ways. But how do we love them becomes the question and know it's not easy. Not easy at all. And sometimes, that does include some forms of tough love. Sometimes we cannot associate with people who are putting the people we love around us at risk. But love never is easy, but it's always worthwhile. And I think that's what Jesus would say. Lord our God, help us to love those who are not doing everything they can to love the whole of society and the people around them. Amen.